See, the English word mind doesn't say anything because it's just one generic word which does not describe different dimensions of what the mind is. The yogic system looks at the mind as four fundamental parts. One is the intellect, which we have in modern world, in today's world, we are unnecessarily giving too much significance to intellect and we will pay an enormous price for this. You will come to a place where you'll know everything, but you'll know nothing of life significance. Today you will see this happening to children. For the first time, this generation you see, 10, 11-year-old or 12-year-old children, they look bored. When you were 10, 11, you did not know what is boredom, it was not possible. It was too exciting to be alive and looking around. You will see 10, 12-year-old children all looking bored because they've seen the cosmos through their phone screen. They know it all. If too much information happens to you without experience, that exuberance will be gone and a false sense of knowing becomes so strong in you. This is the danger of intellect, because intellect wants to dissect everything. You want to know your mother today, please get yourself a sharp knife, start the dissection. You may know everything about her liver, kidney, heart, but you won't have a mother left, that's all. So life cannot be known by breaking it up. You can know physical things by breaking it up. You cannot know life by breaking it into pieces, but this is the nature of the intellect. Intellect will be useful only depending upon what it is identified with and what is held, what holds this, how steadily. So the next dimension of the mind, the first one is called as buddhi, which is the intellect, the second one is called as ahankara. Ahankara does not mean ego, this, that, it means the identity. Whatever you identified with, your intellect functions only around that. Simple, if you just identify with a nation, if you say, I'm an Indian, everything Indian looks beautiful. If you cross the border and you say you're something else, all that looks beautiful. So whatever you identified with, it's only with that the intellect functions. So ahankara is the identity. How consciously and how steadily your ahankara has been created will determine the effectiveness of your intellect. Just because it's sharp, it does not mean it'll be effective, because sharp intellect or a sharp knife can cause any amount of damage to you. If you have a sharp knife and you don't have a steady hand, you will cut yourself all over the place. That's all that's happening. Human suffering is just this. You don't know how to hold this intellect in your hand properly. Every day you're cutting yourself. All suffering is on self-help because your own mind causing this to you all the time. No matter what happens, people suffer, whichever way they suffer, because they don't know how to hold this intellect. If you had the mind of an earthworm, you would be quite peaceful. You're trying to do it in so many ways to reduce the sharpness of the intellect, by drink, by drug, by overeating, by doing all kinds of things somehow to take away the sharpness, because the damn thing hurts. It hurts not because that's its nature, it hurts because you do not know how to hold it. The next dimension of the mind is called as Maanav, which is a huge volume of memory. It is not here or there, the entire body carries memory. So the fourth dimension of the mind is called as chitta. Chitta means it's pure intelligence. It is unsullied by memory. It has no trace of any kind of memory, it's just pure intelligence. If you touch this, then you have access to what you're referring to as the source of creation, because all kinds of things might have been fed to you. God is this, God is love, God is compassion, God is kind, whatever. Your ideas of God have come only because you do not know how this whole creation happened. So that which is the source of creation, don't believe what I say, what anybody says. Pay attention to one piece of creation. Just take a flower, pay attention to this, pay attention to a leaf or an atom. All you will see is phenomenal intelligence beyond anything you can imagine. But nobody told you God is intelligence. But this culture has said this to you in many ways. They told you Chidakasha, Chidambara and so many things to tell you if you touch your chit, the whole existence becomes yours. Everything that's worth knowing is right here because you have access to the source of creation. So these are the four dimensions of your mind. Unfortunately, the modern education thinks by just feeding information and keeping the intellect reasonably sharp, everything is going to happen. No. You will rip this planet apart looking for well-being. You may lose the planet, or you may manage to go to another planet and start your work again there. But well-being will not happen. If well-being has to happen, you have to dig a little deeper into this one, otherwise, no.
The essence of spirituality consists in knowing the truth of the letter I. This letter I contains the deepest and the most profound truth, but at the same time, it also contains the deepest error. You don't even know how many times during the course of the day you repeat this letter I, without really knowing its profundity, without really knowing its depth. Just close your eyes right now and repeat the letter I mentally. Now when you said I, what came to your mind? For majority of the people in this world, this I means either the body or the mind. When they say I, they are either referring to their body or to the state of mind they are in. Isn't that so? Tall, short, fat, thin, beautiful, ugly, these are all adjectives that you use to define yourself, forgetting that these adjectives define only the physical body and not the real you. Angry, jealous, loving, these are all adjectives that you use to describe yourself, forgetting that these adjectives tell only the states of mind and they have nothing to do with the real you. And this is the error that you all commit. Attaching what pertains to the body, associating what pertains to the mind with the I is what the error is. The I in you is not at all related with this body-mind complex. The I in you is free from the limitations of body and mind. It is infinite. It knows no boundaries. But you confuse this I with your body. You confuse this I with the states of your mind. And this is why you undergo tremendous suffering. Have you ever observed why do you resist suffering? Now you may be thinking, what sort of question is that? Who wouldn't resist suffering? Yes, that's right. But why do you do that? The reason is suffering is foreign to your real nature. The I in you is pure bliss. It is unalloyed, ever new, ever fresh happiness. And suffering is alien to this. This is the reason why you resist suffering. Because happiness is your real nature. Happiness is your very nature. And this is also the reason why your mind is always looking for happiness. Because that's your very nature. You're not actually looking for happiness, you are looking for yourself. You have lost connection with yourself because of identification with body and mind. And the moment you recognize your divine blissful nature, at that very moment, all suffering, all problems will come to an end. Suffering can exist only in the body. Suffering can exist only in the mind. It cannot touch your real nature. No matter what the body-mind complex undergoes, your real nature remains untouched. No experience, however unpleasant it may be, can affect the bliss of your real nature. Now this reminds me of one beautiful words from Bhagavad Gita. It talks about the state of an enlightened person. Lord Krishna says to Arjun, when one experiences one's real nature, when one experiences one's divine nature, then one understands that there is nothing higher than this. One comes to the realization that I have attained the ultimate bliss and there cannot be anything higher than this.